Hey folks, welcome back to WarThunder. So, how did you like that 2 kilometer plus hash snipe on a moving Tunguska at the start there? I was pretty proud of that shot. Hash is a fucker to hit moving targets with because it travels at such a ridiculously low velocity, but yeah, I knew I'd have to use hash because the new fucking shitty hull break mechanics just mean that thing can tank darts for days, and it's actually genuinely dangerous against tanks, which is kind of broken, but it is the way it is. So in this video I'm going to break down 3 pretty good matches in the Challenger 1 in sim battles. All of these games were done in aid of grinding out the Challenger 2. I actually managed to grind the whole tank out in an afternoon. Well, I said an afternoon. It was about 10 hours. It took me about 26 matches. So 380,000 divided by 26, you can probably get a calculator out or work out what the average RP was, but I had a bunch of games where it was over 30,000. I had premium time, a talisman on this tank, and for at least 10 of those games I had a 15% RP booster on. So it wasn't a particularly painful grind, and it was actually kind of enjoyable because, well, I just enjoy playing the Challenger 1. Well, I enjoy playing it in sim. I don't really touch RB anymore, to be honest. But anyway, there's an hour. If these 3 matches are uncut, then it would take 53 minutes to watch them. So let's actually get into the tactics, and I can start snipping bits out that aren't worth having in, and we'll see what we can get the video length down to. So we're on whatever this map is. El Alamein, second battle of El Alamein, something like that. I can never remember, but Triple Cap is the fuck off big massive version of this map, and because I'm in a Challenger, I've decided to come and camp out the desert in a very Gulf War-y kind of way. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to get him. It would have been good though, wouldn't it? So, here we go. First target spotted. He got up there surprisingly fast. And, like I was saying, with hull break being changed, you can't... I don't think you can hull break them with anything other than chemical weapons anymore, and it has to be something like 8 times more powerful than it used to have to be to hull break them. So stuff's like tanking the 120 heat shells from the Leopard 2 and the new Abrams, which is just fucking broken. Hopefully they'll revert that change, but anyway, so we've got eyes on A cap from here. We've got limited view of a bunch of avenues from the south spawn into A, and basically the entire desert is our playground at the moment. Everything in this entire half of the map we can basically get eyes on if we need to. Really fucking up a lot of these shots. And that was a bit kind of just bullshit, and then a teammate kills him, so unfortunate. And then for some unknown reason, despite what happened to him last time, he decided to try it again, and yeah, I don't know what I was expecting to happen. So this match is incredibly campy. I think I might actually stay on this hill for almost the entire thing. So there's really not that much in the way of tactics and stuff going down. There's not very much checking kill feeds and whatever else. I'm literally just playing the Challenger to its strengths. I'm playing it defensively. My goal is to stop them from getting A. And we succeed in that goal so well that I actually almost run out of ammunition. So the highlight of this game will probably be the point where I go and try to get more, and I get shot up quite a bit on the way there, which will be a nice showcase of how ridiculously tanky the Challenger 1 can be against things like the T-55 and chemical weapons. Because anything higher than that, or higher BR, and especially like the higher tier dart rounds, they will just ruin your hull with these. As long as you stay hull down, not even the new Mango round can get through the Challenger 1, apart from at point blank range through the left cheek, and even then it's only a low possibility. You're probably looking at 1 in 10 shells that'll get enough of an RNG boost to actually break through the armor. So honestly, the Challenger 1 in some regard might still be stronger than the Challenger 2, just because of how moronically massive the mantlet weak spot is on the Challenger 2. Very first game that I played in the Challenger 2, first shot that I took went straight through the mantlet and killed 2 of my crew, which was pretty fucking disheartening. But you'll probably end up seeing that when we get around to the Challenger 2 video, which I will be probably working on after I've finished editing and posting this. But anyway, so we've killed a few of them. We're still defending A, and I can't actually read my ammo, but we might be getting to the worrisome ammo situation. So I'm just going to cut this here until we get to some more actiony moments. Probably hard to tell, but this is about 2 minutes later. The T-55 that's been spelling 80 gems at us for most of the game has decided to reveal a bit too much of himself, and shortly we'll catch a dart onto the engine block, which is an absolute death sentence. Because if I hit his engine when he's angled like that, it means that the front part of him is actually raised higher than that is. So even though it's hard to make out at this range, it's just a case of adjusting based on the hit cam. I really do think that the sim might benefit from having the hit cam removed, at least in terms of an immersion type thing. You know, games like Insurgency, where there isn't a kill feed, or like Red Orchestra 2, where the kill feed is incredibly delayed, which makes it hard to like dwell on it and look at it and know that you've got the kill bagged. It's the spur of the moment, like the fleeting glimpses kind of thing with the kill feed. If there's a delay, or if there just wasn't one at all, then you'd really have to play differently. Like, you wouldn't, if something went out of view, you wouldn't be able to guarantee that it was dead because you'd killed it. It could be repaired. You know what I mean? Like, it would really mix things up and make it even more intense than it already is. I mean, this game isn't the best example of games being ridiculously intense, but in a little bit, when I go for ammunition and get caught in the open and pummeled, it would be many times more intense if I wasn't even sure whether any hits that I land were doing any meaningful damage. And having the hit cam removed so that you wouldn't be able to just walk shots on target using it without really being able to do it from your own crosshair. I think that imagine how much better the armor meta would be if you couldn't tell whether you were hitting a weak spot or not, and if you couldn't walk shots onto a weak spot. I think that it'd be pretty good. I think I'd be well up for trying it. What I might do is play a match without the HUD on, because then I wouldn't know any better. But the thing that puts me off that is that obviously that only I'm being disadvantaged by that, and so if I'm sitting there just pummeling a guy, not knowing if I'm getting a weak spot or not, then they're not going to be going through the same thing, and they'll easily be able to walk shots onto me, and it just wouldn't work well because it'd be imbalanced. But if nobody got the hit cam, then pretty interesting. But anyway, here's the most ridiculous part of the whole match. Popping smoke when you're stationary is generally a terrible idea, but my gun bridge has been knocked out anyway, so I couldn't return fire even if I wanted to. So I'm going to hope that my teammates can put fire on them enough to make them back off so that they can't just maintain the same shot. Because what people usually do, if a tank's been made, if it immobilised a tank, then they'll just maintain the crosshair on the same point in the knowledge that it's not going to move. And just, like I was talking about before, they'll just use the hit cam to just walk shots onto weak spots, which is kind of broken. Like, smoke would be so much better without the hit cam, because people wouldn't just be able to fucking bullshit their way through it, and But I kind of lost count of how many shots we took there. But we've still got 2 crew. We've still got 1 FPE charge. I really nearly actually killed myself out of bounds here, but I had to get around the lip of this hill. I'm just frantically. I didn't want to turn too much in case it cut too much speed, because I know that the driver can have a bit of a fit and get stuck in low gears in the challenge for some reason. It's very annoying. But yeah, we're on 4 kills. That's pretty good. Didn't manage to get ammo though, so just gonna have to hope that what little we've got will hold out. Okay, so I skipped ahead a bit. We were finished repairing. This is about 6 minutes later, and there's a guy on this ridge that's just being a pain in the arse, and honestly he's doing pretty well to actually engage from a position like that in a Russian tank, because their gun depression is woefully shit, as we know, but he's using ATGMs, and it doesn't matter so much anymore that his gun depression's bad, because he can just aim down below the gun barrel limit and guide the rocket down anyway. So that's why you can hear ATGMs going off constantly, because it's the only way that that guy can actually engage as effectively. I say effectively, of course, but the travel time means that we can all just pop back into cover, and I don't even have to move because there's no way that he's getting through a Challenger with that ATGM. It's only a T-55, so I was thinking if I can land one square on his roof, it should be a one-shot kill, and I have done it before, but it's not an easy shot, because the higher the arc of a round, the more precise you have to be with the range, because when the shell's coming down from above 10 meters short or 10 meters long, the arc's high, so you literally end up missing them by a huge amount, whereas obviously if it's a very flat trajectory shell, if you're off by 10-20 meters or even 100, a couple of hundred, you're just going to hit them. You'll still hit them, but it'll be low or high on the side rather than hitting or missing. So the adjustment that it takes to hit, like say the turret face and the turret roof with a Hess shell, you're probably talking like a pixel's worth of adjustment. Any more than that and you'll just sky it over the tank completely. I have no idea why the flying fuck he decided to come down this hill. Maybe he ran out of ATGMs because he was up there for a while. Hash just uselessly pinging off his side skirts, but I had the range dialed, so just flick over to the darts. Wait for the smoke to clear just to confirm it a bit, and just pick him apart. Very long, shitty reload with only 2 crew.
Attention to the map. Got it. I agree.
And then we've got teammates pinging a guy up on that ridge. And I think I can see him. At the time I don't think I'd fully realised that I was actually looking at a tank. I thought it was just a rock or something, but there's a point where he moves. We'll just skip ahead. So Leopard's engaging him now, and he pushes ever so slightly too far. And he wasn't actually even looking the right way. I don't actually know what was happening. I didn't realise at the time that he was facing towards the centre of the map. So we've got both caps nailed. They are not getting within a fucking country mile of A. We're on 6 kills, 2 assists. We're just going to let them have C. We'll still have bleed. We've got teammates around B. And like I said, they're not getting anywhere near A, so that's pretty much a wrap for this match. Oddly, when checking the battle log, I noticed that it was actually a Tunguska that set me on fire when I went for ammo. Really no idea how in the hell there was one around that could have line of sight on me without being domed, but I never saw him after that or saw him die in the kill feed or anything, so at the time of playing the match I had absolutely no idea there was even one still up. But anyway, let's go jump headlong into match 2. So as you can see, this is on Poland, and if you saw my T80B video from maybe about a week ago where I got 11 kills, this is the exact same map layout as that, and we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing. So straight rush north to get eyes on their spawn point and their avenues towards the town and straight up the north border of the map, and we'll just pick them apart as we see them. So again, it's not particularly heavy on the tactical breakdowns in terms of needing to keep an eye on the kill feed and the battle logs and figuring out where people are. I mean, obviously it helps to make sure we're not being flanked, but in simple terms, the Challenger's a very easy tank to play because all you have to do is find an advantageous position to make use of it that has good line of sight on key parts of the map, and then just wait. Mostly comes down to gunnery really with the Challenger one. So we've got some friendly smoke popped up ahead, which tells us that the enemies are looking this way, and they've already engaged someone else that had the same idea as me, which means that I'm immediately in jeopardy because they're expecting someone to be here. I do have a turret armor advantage though, so as long as I stay hull down, I should be okay. So first target spotted, it looks like a T80U, range him in, and it'll be the kill cam or the hit cam that can confirm to us that it is actually a T80U as expected. Managed to sneak around through there, almost kill his commander. He has now popped smoke, which means that he cannot see what we're doing, so I'm going to use this advantage, use this time we have to change where we are so that when the smoke clears, hopefully he'll be looking in the wrong place. And I'm fully expecting him to continue pushing west along the northern edge of the map up towards where we are. So we need to really do what we can to either beat his positioning or kill him when he's in a vulnerable spot. So I'm going to push straight up ahead to that pale coloured hill. because if I can get around on his side, he'll have no cover whatsoever, and I'll be in a hugely advantageous position over him.
Cover me! Attention to the designated grid zone. On me!
Tree cover's working out alright for me, but people are trying to take pot shots through it. So I'm going to just push into the lower ground so that I'm not pushing my luck too much.
Follow me!
So the T8TU has pushed up, he's just ahead, he's just fired his gun. Killed that Leopard 2 that was with us. He has no idea we're here. All the time in the world. Line up his ammo and kill him in one hit.
Attention to the designated grid square!
We've got a friendly just pinging the map behind us. I have no idea why anyone was doing that. Some people have this really annoying habit of pinging the map to say that that's where they're going to go, when almost every other person in the world pings the map to say that there's an enemy there, and it just really throws me off and makes me paranoid. But anyway, so we've killed that T8TU, which means that he's going to now be respawning, and they only have one respawn point. So I can guarantee that there will be another tank leaving their spawn point either towards the town or again up in the direction that the last guy came in. Paranoia is peaking hardcore because of that idiot teammate pinging the map behind me. I want to just ignore it and assume that it's going to be him just saying that that's where he's going to go, or trying to, I don't know, tell a teammate to go there or something. Like, what other reason is there to ping the map other than to say there's an enemy there?
Attention to the designated grid square!
That map ping is a bit more useful. You can see that there's a Tunguska somewhere with those telltale traces. Okay, so this is the kind of situation that we came over here for. Got perfect lines of sight on multiple targets. He gets picked off just before Ashar gets there. Only T64A though, so this will be a one-shot kill, nice and easy. Even lower plated him. Not completely unnecessary, but just poor shot on my part. Any more for any more. Let's reset the gun sight to our default and move out of this position. I think it's a BMP if I remember right. Maybe not. I remember wrong. Back of the turret's only 60mm on the T-series Russian tanks, so super easy kill if you can hit it. If you're shooting at it from the side, then aim for the rear third, because the frontal armor wraps around right through past the halfway mark. It's just basically cleaning up at this point. Bunch of kills in quick succession. This part of the map is just so heavily biased towards the team that gets the spawn on this side.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
No idea how I missed that guy, or how that didn't do way more damage and kill him, but I'll settle for an assist. And there we go, that's game. So we netted about 15,000 RP from that one. And we'll jump straight into the last match, which is on Hurtgen Forest. So unlike the previous matches, more passive, campy, defendy playstyle, in this game we're going to be a bit more aggressive. The terrain on this map allows for the challenger to really move around a lot more and utilise its armour at closer range. Generally it's much harder to do, but this map is basically endless little bumpy hills that are just tall enough to hide your lower plate. And if you get inventive, then you can hide the whole hull by just angling oddly and, you know, half climbing little dirt mounds and whatnot. So we're going to push the northern edge of the map and just run the northern border towards the western, or the eastern side, sorry. Nearly. You'll see though that when you play the challenger more aggressively, you really have to approach it as more of a support tank. You can't be the guy to get the kills, but you can do what you can to sort of set them up. So assists are really worth their weight in gold when it comes to the closer range, more aggressive playstyle. Terrible shot. Been bringing lots of ammo because bigger maps, obviously more opportunities to snipe, and if you're sniping then you're going to use a lot of ammunition, or you know, you can speculate a bit more the more you take. And with the Challenger Mk.3 getting L23 stock, obviously you don't have to spend money or silver lines on stock ammunition, so you can just spam it away to your heart's content. Which is a really nice change after using the Challenger Mk.2 for so long, where the only usable ammunition you get costs like 900, well, it's 420 silver I think, if memory serves. Maybe it might even be like 600 or something for L23. But if you're going to be spending silver anyway, then I tend to main L23A1 on the Mk.2. But it's really not better enough than L23 to be worth it when you get L23 for free on the Mk.3. So there's quite a bit of fighting going on up ahead. These two friendly Leos I think have mopped up 2 kills so far. But there's 3 friendlies. Some pretty nice hold down spots here. We're capping C, so I'm just going to sit around and aim to defend it. Takes a pretty brave man to bring an Object 120 into a sim game for 10.0 tanks, but I guess somebody's got to do it. It's probably a pretty good earner, I guess, if you're trying to grind the T80U, that's probably why he's doing it. And thankfully for us, it's a ridiculously easy tank to kill.
Attention to the map.
So we know that there's at least an Object 120 somewhere along this ridge up ahead. Don't know exactly where. Turret armor can completely negate all of his ammunition, in fact, including the heat round. But not if it hits the gun barrel. But now we know where he is. Being engaged by helis is not good. And friendlies popping smoke that block line of sight is also not good. Because I could have absolutely got a shot on that guy. If that smoke cloud hadn't blinded me. Upside of there being so many friendlies around is that hopefully the hind won't shoot at me. 120 is dead. Heli missed me. T80 somewhere just over the lip of that hill. Gonna spam MG so that the leopard knows where to look. I think that this hind is the one that can only carry 4 air-to-ground missiles, so he's going to be out now. Light him up with the M240 on the roof, GPMG on the 762, so not the best. And he is dead.
Thank you very much. Move after me.
Right, time to reassume the position on this berm.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Attention to the designated grid square.
Just checking our right. Pays to make sure that you hold down in more than just one direction. I don't want to overextend looking along this ridge, so I'm just playing it slow. I know I said that this was an aggressive match, and honestly this is pretty aggressive to play the Challenger effectively at close range. But we'll get up in their face a bit more shortly. Just need to get a good disabling hit. Just some speculative RT, you never know if you might get lucky. He actually just got team kills.
Awesome.
So that went well for us. Just spotted a tank over there. No good shot though. Ping him on the map. I'm actually on comms in Discord with one squad mate, so I do actually have help. Someone else mobs him up though, probably off the back of my map ping. I was actually quite surprised that I even saw him at all. I don't think anyone else on the team was looking in that direction, so it's actually good that I did see him, because he might have actually got on to see otherwise. Very nearly died there, but this guy, it looks like, just forgot about the parallax of his gun sight and shot the dirt in front of him, which absolutely gave his position away. He's probably going to be kicking himself over it. So T80U, his gun barrel and breach are both out. So here's the aggressive push. Fairly confident that he's the only one over there. Get the move after me order going. Mark the map. See if I can get some teamwork on the go. We do actually have the Leopard 2 backing us up. That guy again screws up his shot. Doesn't account for his parallax. I completely knock his breach out. Let the guy and the Leopard know so we can both rush him. And this guy's time is very, very limited. Unfortunately that wasn't a kill, but it went straight through his contact 5. Even at that crazy high angle. I feel like it should probably have stopped that round with it adding 120 kinetic protection, supposedly. You'd expect that to matter quite a lot at that kind of angle, but apparently not. Friendly leopard, so there's 2 friendly leopards over here with me now. Right now I'm kind of paranoid that they're going to be shooting at me from their spawn. But like I was saying before, at the start of the match, when you're playing the Challenger aggressively and getting up close and personal like this, you really can't utilise its killing potential quite as well, because closer range snapshots, quicker engagements, keeping amongst your teammates with better mobility than you, so it gives them far more opportunity to finish the kills that you set up. So you'll notice that we've not done as well for kills in this match, which is why I decided to try and redress the balance by getting some air kills, which actually works out. That's a friendly Arado. So we're just mopping up at this point, really. We've got 2 ground kills, I think. Oh, actually, this is the 2nd ground kill. Get very lucky and just spot this guy. Unluckily for me. So that's our 2nd ground kill. 1 air kill on the IL-28. That's the Arado again. Their numbers are really dwindling at this point. We've got them on the ropes, so you've got a massive, massive ticket advantage. And we've basically got them hemmed into their spawn. So at this point I'm thinking that anyone that's left is probably going to be in the air. And that means helicopters. And sure enough, check over in the direction of their runway and immediately spot an enemy hind coming in. Now if you watched my last upload, then you'll have seen this clip already. And also heard my rundown of it, but as I said, as long as he's beyond my max range for the rangefinder, I don't actually know how far away he is. So I'm just going to keep hitting him with the laser rangefinder until I get a readout that isn't the maximum, because then I actually know how far away he is. So the second he's closer than 4,800, that's when I can start trying to hit him, because right now I have no idea whether he's 4,900 or like 7,000 meters away. So I explained in the last video that if you line up the 8 on the horizontal line of the gun sight with the 2,800 meter mark, then that sets your sight for around 4,300 meters. So I'm using that to gauge, and I managed to wing him on the 3rd hit at 4 kilometers dead. Beautiful lead shot. And that brings us to the end of this match. I think he was either the last player or they're about to lose on tickets imminently. So, like I said, folks, Challenger 2 is now being researched and purchased and crewed. I have a bunch of the modules, at least the ones that make it worthwhile. And I've had some pretty good games, and I think currently my stats are around 30 kills to 7 deaths. So pushing a 3 KD. So if you're looking at some Challenger 2 footage, or you're interested in seeing some Challenger 2 footage, then keep an eye on the channel over the next few days, and yeah, I'll see what I can do. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I know it's been a long one, so I'd appreciate if you put sausages in chat to let me know that you got this far. I'm not expecting to see many sausages. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. Cheers, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.